I say to you that the most fascinating story is what is going on right now regarding these elections and the messaging, the words, the focus, the ideas, the role of social media, the role of media, listening to what is happening. Now, I try to explain this, and it's very difficult, but I'm going to try my best. When you listen to what is happening, when you pay attention to what is happening, do so as though you're trying to explain what is happening to somebody from a foreign planet. It's kind of redundant. Or maybe imagine you're somehow talking to your grandparents who says, tell me what's going on. We haven't been here. You say, okay, let me tell you what's happening right now. This is the election. And this is the role of social media, the role of cable news to an extent, the media, the momentum, how it works. I love documentaries on elections, presidential elections. And the elections that I saw, my generation, what I remember Kennedy's assassination. I was 5, so that was it. But I remember LBJ, and absolutely remember Nixon, and Jimmy Carter, and Reagan, and everybody, and Bill Clinton, and Carter, and everybody else, and Bush 41, and Bush 45, and I remember that. And I remember how the country changed, and it changed with each successive election, and the message changed, and the way they politicked. Listen to Kennedy. He's got high hopes, and not high hopes. Remember, Frank Sinatra was singing a song for Kennedy. There's one, Nixon's the One. The Jimmy Carter story. Still think the best was Ronald Reagan. Morning in America. Oh, God. That changed everything. Everything. I remember that so thoroughly. And I watched when people that you thought were pretty good. You know, I got to say this. This is important. George McGovern. George McGovern was a great man. This was a guy who was a World War II, either a bomber pilot or a bombardier, but not in any way, no way a wimp against Nixon. This was a bona fide, serious war hero. And he was made out to be just this. He was clobbered. I think he lost his own state, if I recall correctly. I think the only states he won, I think it was Massachusetts, and maybe D.C. Well, D.C. doesn't, but I remember that. And what is happening right now, I have to turn off everything. I can't watch it because they're not focusing on what's happening. They're using each particular show to continue to campaign for you. And that's fine. That's what they do. I understand it. I dig that. That's what they do. I understand that. But that's not where I want to go to. Right now, with 4 days to go, look at what's happening. Look at what the mood is. Look at what the tone is. National and then individual. Here in New York, give you an example. Here in New York, you can really see it. And you are seeing this 2 issues here locally. Crime and economy. But crime. Oh my God, crime. And then people will come out and they will address this and they will say, no, that's the Republican message. Crime and inflation, maybe family, maybe 3, but inflation and crime. Absolutely. And it's so easy. Remember, it's the economy, stupid. Who made that? That was James Carville. That's what got Clinton elected. Among other things, inter alia. among other things. It's a fascinating issue. You can just point and you can say, look at this. And you could talk about the urban white voter, the mother. You could talk about the notion of what affects people the most in terms of their family. And okay. We've heard this. It's true, and it's very important. But it's the same people all the time. But here's a couple things you got to understand. This is so important. Number one, politics is about three groups of people to begin with. The people who are going to vote Democrat, the people who are going to vote Republican, they're there. You don't worry about that. They're there. Don't worry about it. Who are the people who are the undecideds? Who are the people who could be swayed? Who are the people who not only are undecided, but they get out to vote? Who are these people? Who are these people? That's it. Now, do you listen to polls? Don't. The polls that you should be listening to, I am telling you, the polls are the private polls. Privately contracted. Oh, those cost the most money. Those are serious. You don't get those out. Oh, no. You don't hear about that. No, you don't hear about any of those. The internals are the most important. They're the most critical. Polls start off at first by almost acting as though it is nothing but a, how do I say this? It is a separate means of promotion, of advertising. For example, let's say you're the current governor of your state and you're running, Democrat or Republican. I'm going to put out that there are a series of polls that show you 10 points ahead of your nearest competitor. Now, are those polls accurate? Well, maybe. Who are these polls? Are they likely voters? Well, what is the breakdown of demographics? Are Republicans or Democrats underrepresented? Well, where did you go? Well, I went to a mall. I went to a school. I went to a college. I asked young people whom they thought they preferred. I didn't ask them whether they were even registered to vote. I just said citizens. And there's different ways that you're told about this. But then, as these polls are put out, then you have the corrections. And the corrections are the most important because these companies, you can go online and you can look at whatever, if it's 538 or if it's Real Clear Politics or Rasmussen or Reuters or ABC, whatever it is. The polls that you get at first and later on are corrected so that at least they retain some form of relevance in the future. Because remember, there was at one time, it was in 2016. It was during Trump and Hillary. The polls were just, forget it. I want to talk about that. This is so fascinating. Please listen. Please focus on this. And just try to think differently than the usual suspects. I'm not going to mention any names, but try your best to not merely look for people who are going to repeat that which you already believe, but look at the number of people who are actually speaking the truth. But stand by for 1 second, because right now I want to talk to you, my dear friend, because are you seeing what's happening regarding the world? And I know you're paying attention. You're smart about this. You know the world is getting more dangerous with every passing day, and it's time to make sure that your family is prepared for severe food shortages that are ahead. That's why My Patriot Supply is going the extra mile to make their emergency food as affordable as possible. How do they do that? They're taking $250 off their 3-month emergency food kit, which is the minimum your family should have. This kit provides delicious, easy-to-make breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks for one person for 3 solid months. Get one for each member of your family while you're able to save $250 during this timely sale, which ends soon. Remember, My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest preparedness company with millions of families already protected. These 3-month food kits are in stock and ready to go, and the order ships fast and free and arrives in unmarked boxes for your privacy. So go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. Those who know what's coming are using today to prepare. Are you? That's preparewithlionel.com. Now, my friends, I know this may sound counterproductive, but there is so much going on, and there are a couple of different things you can do. First, if you want to be a part of the usual routine, you can just watch various cable news and various media, social media and others, and enjoy the fray. I cannot tell you what you can and can't do. But if that's the way you look at this, you're missing something so fascinating. Watch what's happening. In the past, remember there's 4 days to go. Look at what they're doing right now. The Democratic Party is sending their big guns. Obama, Hillary, Carmelita, Kamala, name it. They're going out and they are spreading the word. And the way it works, Democrat and Republican, the Republicans are doing the same thing as well. And they're going into their various enclaves. Couple of things to notice. You might notice that there are fewer new media people weighing in. In 2016, when it was Trump-Hillary, everybody who was breathing had something to say about that election. Everybody. Look at it now. You see the usual, I don't say usual suspects, that sounds a bit sarcastic, but you know what I mean. Those individuals who are involved in these various goings on, they're saying their things. But look at the difference. Look at how the media have not weighed in. Why is that? Why? What is happening? Next, look at the messages. Republican, it's inflation, crime. Economy, crime. Democrat, what's been the pervasive theory? That this is an existential threat to order, to democracy, that this is an election that is not merely about one particular issue or two particular issues, but the fate and the future of the union as we know it. The republic. Wow. Now, is that a good move? Remember something. Every single day, left and right, there are talking points, and they are sent out early. Some are more privy than others. And the word goes out, today the message is going to be this. And if you've ever been a part of it, you can listen, and they say, based upon because there has to be unanimity. You can't have disparate, there has to be a solid opinion. And that's why you will see the front runners, the big names, and then you will go to the various media representatives to promote their thoughts. And there is a unity there. Have you ever seen, and this is for all sides, but have you ever seen somebody puts together a compilation of a list or a phrase? For example, this is an existential threat. And then somebody will say, this is an existential threat. This is an existential. And you'll see, my God. And you realize this is an agreed to, somewhat scripted, but a specific message that is consistent, that is being provided across the board. Do you see what's happening? Pay attention. Look at what's happening. You can hear it. Now, throw in social media. Throw in trending. Look at what's happening. I'm fascinated by how, quote, Hollywood, we use that word Hollywood, I don't see the same level of input and involvement as I have before. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed it's a little bit different? Now, here is the biggest question too. Ask yourself. Remember, 3 groups of people. People who vote Democrat, people who vote Republican, and then in the middle, undecideds, independents, and people who can be poached from either side. What is it that is going to get somebody to vote now who might be disinclined, who might be unsure? Ask yourself this question. How can anybody be unsure? How can anybody not be sure? Well, a lot of people are. So what are the issues? And what is it that you want turnout? Turnout is critical. How do you get people out? And how do the various influences apply? Remember this. The thing that you must avoid at all costs is complacency. And this is what happens when you tell people for too long, we're going to win. We've got it in the bag. We're going to win. Don't say that. What do you mean? Dear God, don't say that. You want people on every side to think, I've got to get out. There's a war on. They need my vote. This is going to be close. Oh my God, I've got to get out there. Not, don't worry, we've got it. When I hear that, and when I hear people say, well, we've got Lee Zeldin, who apparently is slated to win against Kathy Hochul for New York. Don't say that if that's not what you want. In fact, don't be surprised if somebody from the other side puts out information that says, don't worry, they've got it. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, Democrats or Republicans. You've got this one. No reason to don't even worry about voting. You know what, you got it. Hey, you sure earned this one. Don't be surprised if that doesn't happen as well. Now, there is so much going on right now. One of the biggest stories that is captivating more people who don't even understand what it is Elon Musk and Twitter. It is fascinating. Step back. Look at what's going on. I'm hearing more people say, I don't even use Twitter. But I guess this is a big news. This is a big story. And it means something. And what is the subtext? What is it about? What is it really about? Think about this. When you talk about the whole Twitter and Elon Musk, what does it mean? What's the story? Is it about what? It's about censorship. At least that's the way it's being presented. In one group, you have this boorish, bombastic billionaire, how about that for being alliterative, who's coming in here and now he's cleaning house and firing people and he's crude and he wants to charge $8 a month for the blue check. Well, that's it. Then you have little sortie going back and forth between AOC and him. It's one of the most brilliant public relations. It's everywhere. Now, granted, if you're saying, look, I'm just watching the World Series, you're not going to pay attention. But for those people who are looking at front pages and go, there it is. No matter what, China, Russia, Bibi coming back in Israel, whatever, that's going on. But domestically, this guy is a rock star, and people don't even know why they're even talking about this. What's at stake? Who did what? Who? What? Who? It's fascinating. And the issue is it going to have some kind of a lasting effect down the road? Now, another story, which is so interesting. I've never seen anything. When there is, how do I say this? There is the issue, the story, the news, and then there's the derivative story of the media. Whenever there's anything that deals with an apparent existential loss, or excuse me, a reconsolidation, reconfiguring, realignment of either CNN or Fox News or MSNBC, or this one's moving. This Jake Tapper was moved. Shepard Smith, he was fired. What? Don Lemon, they reported the ratings for his morning show with Poppy, Hoppy, whatever, at the basement, still better than Fredo Cuomo, as he is called, which is another story. Do you remember any time growing up, I don't, where people cared as much about the interstitial goings on of a media? I remember when Harry Reasoner and Barbara Walters had this, that was something. There were times in the old days when Murrow he might not have gotten along with someone. Cronkite and Dan Rather. When Dan Rather had Fontgate, remember that, when there was that memo gate, and they said, wait a minute, this font was not in existence because Dan Rather was such a lightning rod, separate and distinct from his position. And that's when it all changed. Now, there is a separate media division where people just want to see who's fired, who's gone, what was canceled, because most people think that it is an endorsement, or rather it is a referendum on the mindset, on the political way of thinking that network theoretically represents in their minds. So what people are doing is they're saying, well, look, CNN is doing bad, or Fox News is doing bad, whoever is doing poorly. People will say, and that's indicative. That goes part and parcel with their decline in political success or what have you. It's fascinating. Never had this before, ever. Certain things are reminiscent, certain things aren't. Now, let me ask you this question. And you might be watching this now. You might be listening to it later on either Spotify or podcast or Apple or whatever it is. Have you ever had your mind changed? Have you ever been at some point in your life where you thought, you know what, I was not raised, but in my family they were, liberal or conservative, for lack of a better word. And then I changed. I went like that. It was my epiphany, my red pill moment, my sobriety, that moment I hit rock bottom, whatever it is. To some people, changing ideological belief system is almost like sobriety. It's cataclysmic. Do you think people change their minds that greatly? Do you think that something can be said now? I suggest no. The only thing I can do is go after turnout, because I'm not going to get somebody. I'm not going to tell them something. There's always going to be a few, but for the most part, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that there are people who say, I have been a Democrat my whole life, or I have been a Republican, and I am not. You know what? I'm going to ride this out, and he may not be great, and he may not be, to my cup of tea, but I am not going to in any way, whatever. Politics is personal. Politics even more today than ever, if that's even possible, because I know people forget this. But if you think the rancor that you're hearing right now is great, go back to FDR, go back to Abraham Lincoln. My God. How about Andrew Jackson, who they were accusing him of bigamy, and Grover Cleveland with his wife, his ward. He was the guardian of this. I mean, if you think this is brutal, no. FDR was, the detestation of that man. Same thing for Kennedy, same thing. Because people always think that the world they live in now has never been more rancorous. Has never been, no. Absolutely not. When people, let me give you an example. You know, when you go to a doctor, and the doctor says, "Are you in pain?" Yes. How would you describe your pain? A scale from 1 to 10. I never understood that. Sometimes a woman who has had, let's say, 3 kids will say, "I've had kids before." Okay. Then this woman will break her leg or hurt herself, and she'll be in agony. And if you went to this person and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, yes, I don't know what you're yelling about. This is certainly not as bad as childbirth." And the woman very correctly would say, "Just because I went through childbirth, just because childbirth was bad, doesn't mean that this is not excruciating in its own right. That doesn't, blot out any future pain." So when I can tell you that, well, FDR was worse. Well, Nixon was worse. After the Tet Offensive, after Cronkite came out and said, what difference does that make? Doesn't make any difference. All we know is now. And what's interesting is that it is so fascinating. And what I want you to do is I want you to try your best. If you want, I can't tell you what to do. But don't waste, I should say those. Let me rephrase this. I don't waste my time listening to people who are there because it's a team to them. I don't have a team. I don't listen to people say, "I'm going to go listen to my team." That's narrowcasting. This was the classic phrase that was iterated one time and promoted by Roger Ailes, who came up with it. He goes, and everybody does this. "We're going to give you a show that reflects your worldview," not giving you the news, but reinforces that which you want to be true. And I listen to people, and I don't know why. They're even popular because it's just one, and we're going to do. No, we're not going to do. What are you talking about? Somebody will say, "Did you see what this person said?" I don't. "Did you see what he wrote about it? Did you see what she said on the TV?" Why are you talking about this? Because she said that. You can't. And we have TV shows and news shows that talk about what other TV and news shows say. What difference does it make? Who cares? Doesn't matter. But if that's your level of entree, that's it. I look at things very simply and say, what are they talking about? Okay. All right, that's good. Interesting. And here's one that I don't understand. If I'm going to be on a show, and I'm a Republican or a Democrat, and I'm going to be on a show that has no visibility virtually whatsoever on the part of, and by the way, never kid yourself into thinking that Democrats don't watch Republicans, that Democrats don't watch Fox News, or Republicans don't watch CNN. Don't ever think that. Don't ever think that. I know you might say to yourself, well, no. But I don't understand why I'm going to be preaching to the choir when I want there to be turnout. I don't understand this. Everybody running for office has to make everybody understand this is what this is about. You almost take, you don't even mention the other side. If you were to say, for example, what we do now will not be felt in some respects within 5 to 10 years after. Some of the stuff that we're doing now will take immediate effect. Others will not. So we're setting the tone for your kids, grandkids. This will write the course of, this is why this is important. Why would somebody care about something that's going on now? Why? I will never understand talking about somebody else. I don't believe in going. You don't have to tell me whether it's Oz or Fetterman or Biden or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't tell me about somebody else. I don't care about that. Tell me what you're going to do. Ronald Reagan never mentioned anybody. He said, I believe, and we're going to do this, and blah, blah, blah. Morning in America. Give me that. Oh, my God. Have you ever seen anybody on any TV show ever talk about their competition? Never. The only time I ever heard is that we're Avis, we try harder. Remember, because they were number 2? This is the thing that you're going to laugh when I tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this. 2 things have fascinated me because I love collective psychology. Number 1 is the McRib. Remember, every now and then there'll be the McRib story. Out of a sudden, well, McDonald's is bringing back the McRib. The McRib? Did they have the McRib? Have I ever had a McRib? Is it really a rib? What is it? Why am I talking about this? What is this about? What do you mean? The McRib? And then all of a sudden, you'll see on news shows, well, tonight it's back by popular... That's right, Stacy. McDonald's is talking about bringing back the McRib. And then everybody's talking about it. Wow. That fascinates me. They may not even go on and buy it. But they're talking about a McRib because they're that easily moved. I never thought about that. And the greatest example ever, the person that I want to meet, more than anybody, is the person who says, well, remember on I've Got a Secret or What's My Line? Sign in, and he signs in, and he writes in, invented the elevator, Mr. Otis or whatever. I want to meet the person who says, you know who I am? I'm the person who got everybody to cover their entire body with tattoos 10 years ago. Me. Here is before, this is the number of tattoos based upon the Tattoo Society, the Tattoo Marking, the Ink magazine, blah, 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 blah. The number of people who had tattoos in 1980 was 13%. Whatever. I don't know. Now, 87%. I'm the guy. And not just a tattoo. Not just a little, heart or a mom or, oh no. I mean, you cannot watch any show today involving people who were ex-military, and I love the themes of various platforms, like for example, ex-Navy SEAL, ex-Special Forces, recon, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And they're just covered. They're not believed. I don't believe this guy. If you're not covered, I'm sorry. Chefs. Let's go right now to go behind the scenes to this Michelin 3, maybe, I don't know about foreign countries, but overnight. That fascinates me like you cannot believe. How did that happen? How did that happen overnight? It's one of those things. And it goes to show you because of the way people think collectively. How is it that people say, this is it? How do we change expressions? How do we use words? Why does every show on the internet, every platform start with, hey guys, hey guys, hey you guys, hey guys. Even Sammy the Bull Gravano, covered in tattoos. Hey guys, here's a story about when we whacked Paul. Mafia. Have you watched those? LCN. I watch every. I think they've told the same 12 stories over and over again. Roy DeMeo. The Mercury. Roy DeMeo. DeMeo. I know all about that one. Okay, but hey guys, where did that come from? Overnight. Wow. Phrases. Hilarious. Hilarious. You are hilarious. Louis C.K. does a great thing on that. Hilarious. That is insane. You are insane. And I literally melted. My eyes literally popped out of the sockets, hanging by an optic nerve. Literally. You sure about that? Yes. Literally. Yes. Absolutely. Literally. It was amazing. Amazing. Had a chai latte. I love words. I love where this comes from. I love to see the swaths of humanity. And I just sit back and I just watch. I love. You want to have fun? Go to a mall. Still the greatest observatory and laboratory of human behavior you will ever see. You want to see how the economy is doing? Go to a mall. Look what people are doing. And Mrs. L always says, she's so right. See if they have bags. They buying anything? Yeah, okay. How's the economy? Go to Cheesecake Factory. Packed. There's money. Ask people. Everywhere I go, how's business? Pretty good. That's interesting. When they say pretty good, it's really good. Don't look at the Dow. Just look at if somebody doesn't have any money, if somebody really, you're going to see these people. Remember during COVID when you just saw, you will never, ever, ever be able to imagine or understand what it was like to be in New York City during COVID when it was abandoned. It was the eerie. It was like a moonscape. Wednesdays, theater days. Oh, to go east to west side, forget it. Forget it. It takes forever. It's like there's no. I think Manhattan is like maybe a mile or so. It's not even that big. But forget it. During COVID, I remember driving down on 42nd Street, actually going through one of the theater districts, 52, 53, straight. I couldn't. I mean, it was like a. So I loved to see behaviors, and when people started to come back, hey, this is back. Hey, we noticed this is back. Hey, and we're seeing the other day we're seeing men in particular wearing suits again. Very, very, very interesting. Wearing suits. And I notice everything. And I watch things. And I have no particular interest one way or the other, but I want to pay attention. And I'm looking at how elections are today. And I look at what's happening is that you've got, imagine these plates. Remember, Eric Bren got the stick and the bowl, and he's spinning them. And you've got, here's the election, all right? Here's midterms. Here's 2024 coming up. That's over here. Got that? Then we've got Trump over here. Then you got DeSantis. And then you got, well, what's the future? Who's next? Beto's over here. What's going to happen to CNN? What's going to happen to media over here? What about sports? What's happening about fashion? What's happening in the world of business? What's happening in actual various goings on? Schools, employment. Do we still have that quiet quitting? Is that it? Are we going to be in a Zoom world? There's so much to pay attention to. Observe. Focus on this. Stop for 1 second. Because while we're in the middle of focusing, I want to talk to you about something you should be focusing on. That's right, your percales. That's right. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, is incredible. Right now, the biggest bed sheet sale ever. Go to the history books. Look up bed sheet sales. It's the biggest one ever. As low as $29.95. It's amazing. Literally, my eyes bugged out. They were dangling the optic nerve. Percale sheet sets as low as $49.98. How about their overstock sale? My slippers, my sandals, My Pillow towel sets, My Pillow mattresses, My Pillows as low as $19.88. 3-piece towel sets, $24.98. Plush blankets. Oh, it gets even better. Dog beds, pet blankets, couch pillows for you couch potatoes. Giza cotton pillowcases. Incredible. 50%, $9.99. Duvet covers, down covers, waffle blankets, throw blankets. It just goes on. So mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Go there now. And if you insist upon a phone number that is quite within your rights, call 800-645-4965. That's 800-645-4965. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Now, I got to tell you something. This is important. This is important for you to recognize and to understand. Listen and listen to me good. I can't tell you what to pay attention to, and I can't tell you what to watch. But if you merely hear the usual stuff, you're going to miss the symphony of this world that is changing so drastic. And the biggest implementation, the biggest factor, what has changed everything like nothing else, is social media, our social media. Media is a plural noun. You know, people used to say all the time, they say, well, the printing press. Well, the printing press. No. As many people have pointed out, a lot of people did not read. The printing press did not make that big of a deal for most people. Nothing today, nothing is as big as social media. No one is without a phone. No one. Let me say this again to you. And you will be given a phone. Why? Not only does it allow you to connect, but it's a surveillance tool. And you know this. Pay attention. Pay close attention. Watch what's happening. And ask yourself this question. When were you ever lured into voting for something or changing politically? What was it? Do you like to hear, will you vote for somebody because of the bad job the incumbent is doing? Or should you keep the incumbent because the challenger is worse? I don't think like that. Nobody goes to McDonald's because they hate Burger King. It doesn't work like that. But when it comes to politics, and let me also tell you the most important thing, and if you remember one thing that I'm telling you, it is this. Do not think that when people have a lot of money, they know what they're doing. When I came to New York eons ago, I thought I'm going to be among the best radio programmers, TV programmers, the best everything, the best restaurants, the best. Everything is going to be the best because it's New York. Wrong. Wrong. You are going to see things right now. It is the media. Billions of dollars. Keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this. Because this idea of, maybe you don't remember this, TV shows, the Today Show, Dave Garroway, how he would J. Fred Muggs. This was the biggest deal ever. It was huge. They're still doing the basic format of this ha ha ha. And certain things happen. This one will leave this network and go to this network, and it dies. I don't know why. Why is this network? Is it that much better? Don't know. Have you ever seen a gas station on a corner? It never made it. There was always this one gas station. It never made it. But the one across the street is doing great. Why? I don't know. But if the one across the street closes down and the same management goes over here, it doesn't work. I don't know. Certain things, all of a sudden something's cool, and then it's not. A band is good, and then it's not. A show is interesting, and then it's not. One day we had bell bottoms. Then they were gone. Nobody put out a memo and said, no more bell bottoms. Disco just ended on a Tuesday. Nobody put out a memo. It's just all of a sudden you say, hey, whatever happened to... And that's the way things are. Focus on this. It is brilliant. And no matter what country you're in, no matter whatever, step back. Be less partisan and just observe. Imagine you're trying to explain this to somebody from another planet. Imagine what that's like. All right, my friends. Now, I want to remind you, too, on January the 14th, January 1-4 in New York City at the Cutting Room, we've got the totally and completely and absolutely the immersive appearance of me where you are the star. You are. You write the routines. You write. It is interactive. Nobody is doing it. I'm putting it up right now. That's where you get the tickets. Nobody's doing this. Nobody. The first thing everybody on stage wants to do is, it's a heckler. Shut up. pipe down. This is my show. I don't, when people are yelling, that's one thing. But normally the people on the show, they wouldn't have nothing to do with you because everything they're saying is absolutely written to the nth. It's been done a million times. This is completely different. And it's going to be in January. January. Think about what we're going to be. I mean, it's just, and is it political? It's political, it's social, it's entertainment, all that stuff. So there it is. PrepareWithLionel.com. PrepareWithLionel.com. Also, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Please follow Mrs. L at YouTube. And tomorrow, should I announce that one? Absolutely. Tomorrow, she is going to be doing her premiere. She does one radio show a week. But brand new group, Global Historic. She is going to be doing it. It's on the TNT Radio Network. And I've got it. Where is her? Let me see. Hang on a minute. I've got it right here. There we go. This is where, please check this out and go on and also support her because she is a media powerhouse. Decided one day, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this part of the Lynn's Warriors franchise. And I'm so incredibly proud of her. And let me give you the information. That's it right there. So it's cntradio.live, the Lynn's Warrior Show. So watch that. So anyway, we have a lot to talk about. Thank you so very much. I cannot thank you enough. Please like this. Please tell your friends about this. Please. I don't want to, and I should. I'm remiss. But the other day, I was watching something, and I don't know what it was. It was something like who knows? How to change a guitar string. Whatever. And the first one is, hey guys. Hey guys. So anyway, please like this. I'll like it once you tell me about the guitar string. Okay, please, so if you could, please like it and also subscribe. Okay, I'll subscribe, but tell me why I'm here, and then we'll talk. And then I finally just said the hell with it. I can't. The guy hasn't even told me about the guitar string yet, and already he's asking me, sign up, this, like it, hit the bell. Hit the bell. You know about hitting the bell, don't you? Aren't you reminded of this? I hope so. The likes, honey, I don't know what to tell you. The likes are, well, what are you going to do? All right, my friends, you have a great and glorious day. Happy day to you. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. We'll talk very, very soon. Talk tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. And at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.